Okay, so I hope you did well with your homework. So let's get started. So first I will go to File and then Open, and then I will open the file called cigarette smoke start. And I will go to File again and I will create new project. So in the new project window, I will click here and then I will go to my path, which is my projects. And here I will click on new folder and I will type cigarette, okay, and then hit accept and okay, and let me maximize this window and I will remove this text. I don't want to create the Houdini project folder. Okay, so I will type here Houdini. So now I have this path, which is my project cigarette Houdini. Okay, and all these folders will be created in Houdini folder. So I will hit accept. Okay, and I will go file again and I will save the file in my project, which is the job. Now I am inside the project and let's leave that smoke start 01, or let's change that to 2. Okay, and hit accept. And now I will select the sphere and then I will go to Pyro FX tab and I will click on wispy smoke. Okay, so let's hit play and see what we get. By the way, sometimes the blue line will be erased from this area. Okay, the reason is because if you go to object and select the Pyro sim, and here you will see in the cache tab you have the cache memory in megabyte. This is how much you want to cache the file on your memory. Okay, so just in case you have some problem with the blue line, just increase this value. Okay, so let's dive inside the Pyro sim and let's select the smoke and make sure the handle tool is selected in order to see the red box. So I will make the box bigger and let's move that up a little bit, somewhere here. Okay, and here too, and from the back. Okay, let's move it from here and here too. Okay, great. So now let's see, and now I will select again the Pyro and I will increase this value, the division size, because we want to make it faster a little bit. So I will set it to 0.08. Okay, and I will select the Pyro solver and here I will set the temperature diffusion to 0.11 because I remember this value. This will add some turbulence to the smoke. Okay, so I am not guessing these values because I tried that before I record this lesson. Okay, and I will leave the cooling rate at 0.55, and for this one I will set that to 0.8, and I will set this one to 0.6. Okay, so let's hit play and see what we get. As you see, barely we see the smoke because the division size is too much, so we don't have details in the viewport. So that's okay for now. Okay, as you see, the smoke is fading very fast, and if I select the Pyro and go to the shape tab, here you see the dissipation is too much, so I will decrease that to 0.01 as I remember. Okay, so let's go back and play it. Okay, as you see, the smoke stay longer in the viewport. Okay, so Let's decrease the size a little bit so we have more detail. 0.07, it's okay. By the way, you can visualize the temperature here. For example, if you click here, you see I am visualizing the temperature. So I am seeing the temperature into the here, okay? So as you see, okay, let's disable that. And again, let's go to the pyro and let's enable the sharpening and the turbulence too. Okay, so let's go back and play and see what we get now. Okay, so I will set the sharpening to, for example, as I remember, it's 2. This will make the smoke more wispy, like the cigarette smoke, okay? And I will set the turbulence to 1. So now, as you see the turbulence starting in this area, I don't want the turbulence start right away here. So I want the turbulence take some time before starts, okay? So I will go to turbulence tab. Everything you see here connected to this turbulence, okay? So I will set this one to 3.21, and I will scroll down and I will set the turbulence here to 5. By the way, this is the pulse length. So if you decrease this value, the turbulence will move very fast, and you increase that, the turbulence will move slower. Okay, and here I will check the remap, and I will click here to add some point, and I will decrease that somewhere here. So I want the turbulence start after this distance. Okay, so let's see if everything is okay. No, it's not okay. So I will change the control influence to 1, and let's see. Okay, we get some result now. We are getting some results. This control influence this is the weight of the turbulence, okay? This is the weight of this map on this turbulence, okay? So if you set this one to 0.5, then this map will multiply it by this turbulence, okay? So we want to have full control on this turbulence by the ramp, okay? So now let's go to pyro and let's decrease that a little bit too, so we can see the smoke better. Let's check another thing if we forgot something here. Okay, so I will set the disturbance to 6. This will add more detail to the smoke. Okay, and in the disturbance tab, let's scroll down and click here. As you see here, we have empty field, so we need to add the density. We type density because we have density field, so we want to control the density. Okay, and let's set that to 1, and let's click on remap control field, and I will adjust this map. As I said, guys, I am not guessing that because I did that before. So let's hit play and see. Okay, we almost there. As you see now, the turbulence starts in this area, but now you see the smoke is very thick. So I will go to sphere object in the emitter, and here I will select the grade density, and And here you see I have the visualization, which is the density. Of course, if you decrease the size or the scale of the density, this will decrease the density of the simulation too. So now if I go back and play, now you see I have less transparent smoke. Okay, so I will leave that to 1, and I can change that from another area. So I will go to object level, and I will dive inside the pyro, and here in the pyro I will go to multi, and here I will decrease the size, the density scale to, for example, 2. Let's rewind that. By the way, even if you, for example, if you cache the file, as you see now I am caching the file on the memory, and now if you change that, this will not affect the simulation. Okay, so you don't have to rewind the simulation. So for example, as you see, I setting that to 3, 2, this blue line remains as it is. But if you change that from the emitter, this will recalculate because you are changing the emitter. Okay, so let's go back and let's set the shadow to 0.5, for example. Okay, so let's see what we get now. Okay, I think we need to adjust the turbulence a little bit more here, so I will go to turbulence and let's scroll down, and here you see the control range. As you see, we don't have too much range here, so I tried values here, some values, so I figured out that 4 works good for me. So now we increase the range of the turbulence, okay, because before it was from 0 to 4 to 1. Okay, so now this map, this ramp is from 0 to 4. Okay, and I think everything is okay. Okay, so now let's select the pyro and let's decrease that, sorry, to 0.03, and let's go back. By the way, if you are inside the pyro sim, and for example, if you clicked here and clicked on hide none other objects, and now you are seeing just the simulation, right? But remember that the flag, this orange flag is on the output. So for example, if you set that here, for example, you will not see the smoke. This in case you missed that. Okay, so I will click here to set the flag on the output. Okay, let's go back and see the result. Okay, let's show all objects and let's click play. Okay, so we are good. So now let's cache the file on the disk. The reason is I am caching the file or the simulation on the disk because, say for example, you finished your scene now and you save the file and you open the file tomorrow, for example, you will not see this cache. Okay, so that's why I will cache the file on the disk. So we can do that by going to pyro import, and of course remember you need to cache this purple flag. Okay, so I will select that, and then I will go to save to file, and here you can choose the file where you want to save the cache. So the heap name is the scene file name, cigarette smoke start version 02, and the heap is the path. For example, we saved the path in the my project cigarette Houdini. Okay, so the heap $heap will be replaced with this path. Okay, and the OS $OS, this is the name. Houdini will replace the $OS with this name, and the $F is the frame number. Okay, so the BGEO is the format and SC the compress file. This will reduce the size of your file. Okay, so but in my case I will remove that and I will type smoke version 01. Okay, and $F. Okay, so here you can specify the time of the cache from 1 to 40, or if you want to change that, you need to right click, because we have an expression here. If you clicked here, you will see $F end. This is the 240. Okay, Houdini will replace this expression with this one. Okay, so let's right click and choose delete channels. So now you can set the frame number you want. Okay, so I will set it to 150, and after that you need to save the file. So I will go to file and save, and then I will click on save to disk in background. And in this case, Houdini will run another version in the background. Okay, so if I clicked on open, now I am seeing the simulation running in the background. Of course, while the simulation running, you can of course open new scene, and this will not affect the simulation because this is another copy running in the background. Okay, and I highly recommend when you're doing the background simulation, you open new scene so you save more memory. Okay, we almost there. So now the simulation is finished. I will close this window. Now I will open the file again, our scene, and now I will select the import pyro fields, and I will click here to load the cache. Okay, this is the cache, and I will click on load from disk. And for safety, I will disable the simulation, so in this case I am sure nothing else runs when I play the simulation now. Okay, sorry, playing the cache. Okay, so let's click here. Now let's bring the blue flag here too. So I will click here. So now the blue flag here. So now we are seeing the simulation in the viewport. As you see, now we don't have any simulation because we cached the file until frame 150. Okay, so that's it for this lesson, guys, and I will see you in the next lesson.